AI going to take my job before I even get one? If you're a computer science student in 2026, I'm certain that you've had this question in your head at one point or the other. And honestly, the fear isn't irrational, but it's not the full story either, so let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Nayab, I'm a junior software engineer and I've been working in corporate for 5 years. So I'm here to share my experience and my lessons and my thoughts on why AI won't completely ruin your career for you. Let's get this out of the way first. Your computer science degree is not enough anymore. And I did my degree a year ago, and at that time also I don't think it was enough. Because now we're not just competing with graduates, we're competing with self-taught developers, bootcamp graduates, people using AI to do what used to take us months to do before, but we have more competition. The pool has grown for candidates. And so now a degree is just proof that you can learn. It's not really proof that you can deliver or give value to a company. And companies, they care more about how you think, how you work with the people around you, how you complement their existing teams instead of how quickly you can build something, what you're delivering, or whether it's just AI slop that you've copied and pasted in. But the uncomfortable truth is AI isn't replacing you, it's replacing the bare minimum. And what I mean by this is there are a lot of tasks that juniors were brought on to do, which was just BAU. It was purely unnecessary work that no one else wanted to do, so they brought someone in to do that cleanup, where it was fixing letters, fixing casing, cleaning up repositories, upgrading packages. Things like that are very junior focused work. When you first come in, you'll probably be doing it for the first 3 months. And now AI can just do it. It takes about 5 minutes to do a .NET upgrade with AI than it did back when I was doing it in my own time, where it would take me like a full day of work to do all the packages, go through everything, make sure everything's worked and checked. It's taking way quicker. And if AI can do the bare minimum tasks, which it definitely can, there's evidence of it, we've seen all the layoffs, it means that you were just operating at the bare minimum level, and that's not the level for juniors anymore. Juniors cannot operate at the bare minimum levels because that's not what the standards are anymore. Maybe 5 years ago or 10 years ago, all you needed was a degree because you needed to know data structures, how to do bare minimum coding in Java, and that was enough for all the companies that were doing it. But as we're developing worldwide, the standards are way higher, and as a junior you've got to adapt. You need to be adaptable, and throughout this video you'll see a common theme that if you're not adaptable, no company wants you, and you won't be able to match the technical scene either. AI might be coming for the bare minimum tasks, but it's not competing with humans because it can't understand context the way humans do. A lot of business knowledge, although this is a downside, it actually lives in people's heads, and especially the developers who've been there years, it all stays in their heads. This can be a frustration for developers sometimes, and it's a frustration I've faced myself. But how is AI going to get in someone's head and get all that business knowledge out? AI can't communicate the trade-offs of doing a project a certain way and not doing it in a certain way as well. That's up to human discretion, and you as a developer are going to be able to make those calls on what is important, what isn't important. It can't communicate trade-offs to technical stakeholders as well. And if you know anything about being in the corporate world as a developer, you know that you have to talk to people and you have to be interacting with them. This whole channel is based off of my passion for soft skills and promoting them for developers. That you need to have the soft skills because that's what gets you moving in corporate or in your career. Technical skills are only so relevant when you're at the start of your career. They get outdated really quickly, and you need to adapt and you need to learn better. And AI can't do that. Only you can improve your communication skills and talk to other people, because no matter how good AI gets, people talking to a robot will not be affected in the same way talking person to person. And I think more important than anything is that AI can't take ownership. And this made me laugh a little bit when I was coming up with ideas for this video, because who are the stakeholders going to shout at when AI writes all this slop and it messes up all these systems in the back end and they have technical debt 5 years later? They're not going to shout at the AI because it has no ownership. Only us as developers can take ownership of a project. We can take it from start to finish, and if something breaks, even if I wrote that project 2 years ago, I'm still going to take ownership for it and fix that mistake or anything that goes wrong with it. That's how it normally works in organizations. Like, certain people have certain projects attributed to them and they tend to be the go-to person for those projects, and AI can't do that. For me, I think the people who are going to be the best developers are going to be the ones who know how to use AI. And when you're in uni, you have all the time in the world to learn how to get good with it, know how to use LLMs and the best models and how to use certain models for certain tasks. Learn how to use it and it will work for your benefit. And this wouldn't be a video on my channel if I didn't talk about side projects, because your side projects matter more than anything right now. Side projects beat your grade at uni. They beat even some internships that you're going to get, because they show how you think, how you build, how you take things from start to finish, and whether or not you can take things from start to finish and justify your actions. In your interviews, you'll be asked about these side projects, especially if they're in a field where you're applying to. And No, I don't think that your project needs to be absolutely unique and revolutionary and change the world and get you 1 billion of venture funding. That's not what I'm talking about at all. It can be boring, simple projects that display the skills that are needed for a certain job that you're applying for. And I think for some job interviews, even if you have a week between when your job interview is and the date you've been given, you can make a project in a week and talk about that in your interview when they're like, what do you bring to the table to our company? That's how you grow. That's how you differentiate yourself, because you have these little secret standpoints which no one else around you has. So build those projects, because I can't vouch for it enough. Your side projects get you further than any degree and any internship you could find. The part I also think which gets ignored most often is that juniors actually need soft skills, and this is the reason why most juniors actually fail interviews. Yes, some managers are expecting like the computer science students who are very awkward, they don't know how to talk, but most likely that's not the developers they want in their company. They want developers who are going to grow into leadership positions. And if you're going to grow one day with the company, you need to display that confidence in yourself, the ability to communicate and be attractive to your interviewer. If you can't explain your thoughts and you get defensive when you're asked why, or you have feedback, or you freeze in the face of challenge, then why would they want to hire you? These skills are no longer negotiable as they were 10 years ago, because now you need to have 100% in all aspects that are needed to progress in a job, rather than 10% what was needed before. Now you need to be a good communicator, you need to be able to work well with people, have good teamwork, be curious, be respectful and engaging, and all of these things are what is going to separate you from the rest. That's how you get a long-term career, not just your first job, but this will also help you in your interviews to get into your first job. As for the first job, yes, the market is competitive, so let's be realistic. Yes, junior roles are more competitive. Yes, there are more redundancies. Yes, companies have overhired, and yes, companies are now fixing that mistake as well. But that doesn't mean the technical scene is dead. I don't forecast the technical scene dying for at least another 15 years or more, hopefully by the time I'm out of it. But for the next 15, 20 years, I think the technical scene will still continue to grow. We just have to look at it from a different perspective. AI can't make the human judgment on tasks and explain the trade-offs and things like that. But the competition is real, and you have to be aware of that. You're in uni and there are hundreds of people in your cohort. So just imagine those 100 people. Now there are hundreds of unis and thousands across the globe. And so it all works in terms of numbers. Whilst the competition is high, the demand is also high. Companies need great engineers who can fix their problems, who can fix their technical debt, who can adapt and who don't panic when tools change. And we'll see this a lot going forward, that companies really need to change their tools to match AI, because AI won't be working on .NET Core. It'll be working on the latest functions, and that will be a discretion. So you need to be an engineer who adapts faster. How are you going to become more adaptable? You're going to make more side projects. You're going to interact with things more and break things and build things and fix things again. That's going to make you more flexible as an engineer. If you treat your career like, I'm going to graduate and the job will come to me, you're not going to have it. And that's the reality of it. And I heard this often when I was in my lecture theatres, that once I get the degree, I'll get the job. And those are the people who actually haven't found the job and they're really struggling, because you need to have the extra things. You need to recognize that the job market is actually different and it's not going to go back to the way it was. And you need to learn from it and grow. So if you're a computer science student in 2026, your progress depends on one of two things. Whether you see AI as a threat or you actually see it as a multiplier. The best of engineers now are the ones who can grow faster, are the most creative, can develop faster, can deliver faster. And this is not despite of AI, but because of it. They can use it to complement their work and to increase their speed and enhance them. And if you're a computer science student, you're watching this video because you're concerned about your future and your career, and that's the first step towards it. You need to be worried about something to be able to fix it. If you have a concern like, where is my career going? That's the only way to know how you're going to go forward and fix it. And so I hope that watching this video gave you some tips on how to become more indestructible as a junior developer, and most of which is do the work, put in extra work, and that is what will differentiate you. And so if you found anything helpful, leave it down below. And if you want to add anything and share it with anyone else, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.